Hi everybody, I am David Oswaldo Parra and tonight I'm gonna show you three important news that you have to know before you go to sleep. First of all, it's the cocaine trade. The cocaine trade, a global trade of violence. Second, President Trump personally answers Mueller Russia questions. And third, the CIA believes in Saudi crown prince ordered journalists killing. That's what the source says. I'm gonna start to telling you that the cocaine trade is a global trade of violence. Anushka Ashtana traces the production of cocaine from coca plantation in Colombia with the journalist Joe Perkin Daniels from the West African Commission on Drugs and the author D.A.S. Raffaelli. The cocaine use among Britain's middle classes has risen in recent years, prompting rebuke from police chiefs and politicians and accusations that recent demand and is fueling violent crime. In this episode, Anushka hears from the journalist Joe Daniels in Bogota, in Colombia, where record crops of coca are being harvested and farmers are growing on intimidations from armed groups. They are threatening them and then they are telling them they have to leave their lands, leave their farms because they decided they didn't want to farm and harvest and farm uh, cocaine on its farms. But when the drug reaches the United Kingdom shores, it is a mistake to imply that only middle-class OQ's users are driving demand. That's what the author says in the article. There's one tip that you have to know, and it's much of the drug is further processed to make crack cocaine, where use has increased 44% in the past 2 years. That's a very important term you have to know about the cocaine. That's what the people doesn't know. The increase of the consumer, it's growing up, and the middle class it's increasing her consuming. The middle class people, it's demanding every day more and more cocaine, and that's what it has scared to the government. They have to create a lot of different techniques to fight against the micro traffic. Okay, in another news, President Trump personally answers Mueller Russia questions. That's what happens. President Trump says he has finished answering questions into alleged Russian milling during 2016 presidential campaign. The US leader told reporters that he had personally answered the questions very easily, but that they had yet to be submitted to Robert Mueller's team. Mr. Mueller has been looking into allegations of collusion between Mr. Trump campaign and Russia since 2016, 2017. Mr. Trump strongly denies any conclusion, calling the proof a witch hunt. Last Thursday, he took on Twitter to describe Mr. Mueller as conflicted, called the investigation absolutely nuts, adding that those involved in the long-running probe are a disgrace, a disgrace to our nation. All the tweets came a week after he forced the resignation of Attorney General Jeff Sessions, replacing him with Matthew Whitaker, who now has the power to sack Mr. Mueller to end the investigation. Last Friday, all the reporters speaking, and he said to the reporters that the investigation has wasted millions and millions of dollars and should never have taken place. So Mr. Trump finally suggests to the people who wrote the question that he agreed to answer. All probably have bad intentions. What the president says is, I'm sure they're tricked up because, okay, they like to catch people. That's what Mr. Trump said after making it clear that he had written the answer to the questions. And in 2006, the president in the Democrat, being a Democrat candidate, with all the agencies in 2016, with the USA, the U.S. intelligence agency as the CIA, conclude that Russia had used a state-authorized campaign of cyber attacks and fake news stories planted on social media in an attempt to turn election against the Democrat candidate Hillary Clinton and was the candidate in that time. A team of investigators led by Mr. Mueller is looking into whether anyone from Mr. Trump's campaign concluded in the effort. That's what happens. And finally, my dear friends, I'm gonna to close this transmission, close this video, talking about the last news, and it takes place in the CIA, because the CIA believes that Saudi Crown Prince ordered journalists killing. The CIA believes that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered the killing of a journalist, Jamal Khashoggi, in Istanbul. A source familiar with the matter said that on Friday, and complicating the President Donald Trump's efforts to preserve ties with a key U.S. ally. The source said the CIA had briefed other parts of the USA government on this assessment, which contradicts Saudi government assertion that the Prince Mohammed was not involved. The CIA's funding, first report by the Washington Post, is the most definite. The USA assessment to date tying Saudi Arabia, de facto ruler, directly to the killing but both the White House and the State Department declined declined to comment. Khashoggi, a critic of Saudi government and a columnist of Washington Post, was killed at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2 when he went there to pick up documents he needed for his planned marriage to a Turkish woman. Khashoggi, Khashoggi had resisted pressure from Riyadh from him to return home. Saudi officials have said a team of 15 Saudi people, national Saudis, were sent to confront to Khashoggi at the consulate and that he was accidentally killed in a chokehold by men who were trying to force him to return to the kingdom. The Turkish officials have said that the killing was intentional and have been pressuring to Arabia Saudi to extradite those responsible to stand the trial. An advisor to Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan on Thursday accused to Saudi Arabia of trying to cover up this murder. They are trying to cover all this murder because what happened in that place was a murder. That's what apparently trying to cover. That are the three most important news that you have to know before you go to sleep, and I hope you could understand all these three meaning news and and I see you next time. Remember, I am David Oswaldo Parra, and it was a pleasure to me to show you these three news. Please have a great night and see you later.